When you receive a mysterious package in the mail with a video game in it, you don't know if it's going to be all sour grapes or something really sweet. I am a game collector and this is Second Opinion Games, and today I do the review of Diabetor and the Sugar Monsters. It's one of those diabetes games.
Second Opinion Games.
Okay, so this is the game Diabetor and the Sugar Monsters. You can tell it's a game because it says so right there. Also, here is the box. It's fairly passable. This is really shiny. And it just shows some box stuff and a dad with his kid. And there's also the instruction manual, which I will read the very first line to you. It says, I want any diabetic that plays this game to remember something. You have diabetes. Okay, that's pretty cool. But when you move on from there, you actually get some websites with some recipes. This is a color manual. That is really good. And it really feels really high quality, even though I can't stand cauliflower mac and cheese. Obviously, this is a game made for the Game Boy, because that's what size cartridge it is, so I decided to play it on my Super Game Boy. It's a very short game. The whole thing could probably be beaten in about 12 minutes. The music is pretty good, and this whole game was made by one person named Spencer, who was probably the same person that sent me this game. In Diabetor, you play as a superhero who has to use insulin to kill all the enemies on the screen. And the weirdest part is, this isn't the only game about diabetes. There's Captain Novolin for the Super Nintendo. It's bright and colorful, and it really sucks bad. The only thing you can do in this game is answer some questions about your diabetes and, well, jump. Oh, there is one more thing you could do. You can die from touching too many donuts, which that's pretty much 99% of my diet, so I have to be on the verge of death. Captain Novolin was a game that would have only appeared in catalogs, which you could buy for your kid that has type 1 diabetes, or it could be found in children's hospitals, meaning that it's currently one of the most expensive games for the Super Nintendo. Diabetor seems to be very similar because you could jump, however you do have your weapon, which is useful and also provides the only real sound effect for the game. The fact that when you fire your hypodermic needles at your enemies, it makes a small sound. Also, sometimes when you hit bosses, it will make a sound. And there is some other times where you fight a boss, the whole game will crash on you, leading you to start from all the way at the beginning. But that's not really a bad thing because every level is incredibly short. Some levels are as short as 30 seconds long. That's not the only glitch I found in this game. When fighting this block end boss, if you could call it that, one of the blocks just wouldn't come after me, so I had to jump up the side of the wall. I don't think this is something that was designed like this on purpose, but I'm happy that it's here because it let me finish the level and answer the question about diabetes, which I definitely have now. Yes, this is still an educational game, which means at the end of every level, it will ask you a question about diabetes. Usually you can just blind guess your way through these, because how else would I have known that sugar peas have less sugar in it than watermelon itself, other than the fact that I can't stand sugar peas, and watermelon actually has flavor. The questions don't change at all, so after you play through it once, you could play through it as many times as you want, and also you don't get penalized for giving the wrong answer. Instead, you're just given a second and third and maybe even fourth chance to get the correct answer, where then you could keep on playing the game. It's not always side-scrolling action platform levels here. Sometimes you actually have to move down to the bottom of the screen, and other times it's a shooter where your guy continues to shoot insulin at all the enemies. And then later you get into a spaceship that's actually full of insulin, and then the game kind of glitched on me a little bit where it stopped shooting and I just had to avoid all of the enemies. I'm okay with this because it did add a little bit more challenge, but I don't think the game was designed like that. There's also one really huge level here where you have to work your way all the way up to the top, and the one thing I noticed about it is the fact that the platforming actually works. I didn't fall when I wasn't supposed to, which means this game was programmed very competently, at least if you take all the glitches out. The end boss of the game kind of took me by surprise. It's some type of diabetic meter, which then you just have to fire more insulin at it until eventually it goes away, and you win the game. Overall, Diabetor and the Sugar Monsters is probably the very best game I've ever played that has diabetes involved. And it actually has a message that's very important. You have diabetes. I think even though it's short, this game is pretty sweet. But of course, that's just my opinion. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. I had a great time making it. Special thanks to Spencer with Guardian Games for sending me this game. I had a pretty good time with it. One of my best friends that I ever had in my entire life got sentenced with the evil diabetes, and I want to throw this special thanks out to her because without her, I wouldn't be a very good person at all. I'd probably either be dead or in jail and not making these crappy YouTube videos. And if there's anything good about me, it's because she put it there. So this game does in fact have a place in my heart now, and it is one that if you have diabetes or not, you should probably check out. So until later, I will see you again, guys.